What are your thoughts now that you guys have had some time to assess what happened on Saturday night?
Sure. Well, I mean, it's probably as disappointing a way to lose as I can remember in my 20 years in college basketball. But that's life. We made some mistakes. Unfortunately, that happens. We've got to regroup today in practice and move forward with our season. And can't let it be something that tears the team apart or snowball effect. We just got to move it forward and get better today.
Looking at the big picture, how much have you been hurt by having lost Flomo and
Sure.
Sanchez to injury and illness?
Yeah, I think it's a big deal, when you lose, especially with our front court depth issues, to lose Breon, where he was coming along so well. I was just so excited about his development. Still am excited about him, but I thought he was just playing extremely well from a defensive standpoint, and he was just rebounding the ball so well. Flomo, from a perimeter shooting standpoint, he had a great offseason. He was poised to have a good impact on this year's team. And then we've lost Chad Colbreth, to a concussion a couple times where he's had to miss time. But, hey, that's college athletics. That's part of it. There's probably not a team in America that hadn't had an injury or two this year. So you just have to adjust. You have to make the necessary changes and move forward and make the best of it.
You said that this is going to be, after a loss like that, it's going to be how you really figure out what this team is made
Yeah.
of mentally. Have you seen the makings that this team has what it takes to make that bounce back? Because you've been in this situation before once already this year.
Yeah, well, I think it's been our biggest challenge this year. Everyone talks about new guy. I mean, that happens everywhere. I think it's just getting the team's mindset to where it has to be to win at this level. And now you face some adversity here. It's going to be our biggest challenge to me, how we respond and to the way in which we lost on Saturday. So we'll meet today. We'll study some things, make a couple changes, and hopefully have a high-spirited, high-energy practice day. And we've got one goal right now, and that's to win at SIUE on Thursday.
At the beginning of the season, when we talked about Jeff Moss, you said he was going to be the guy, and he struggled at the beginning of the
Sure.
year. He's really rolling now. What do you attribute that to?
Well, I have to give him a lot of credit. We had a long meeting after the non-conference portion of the schedule. We addressed some issues where I thought he was struggling. From a confidence standpoint, I think he was putting too much pressure on himself to be the next guy, to carry the load. And I think when you do that, when you are weighing so many outside expectations and you're worried about the wrong things, it affects your on-court play. And I think what he did is he came back in conference season much more relaxed, just playing with a lot of confidence. He let the game come to him more. He's taking better shots. And what you see now is 50% from the floor, 45 from three, 81 at the line, 16 points a game. I don't even know if he has 10 turnovers in league play combined so far. So, just really happy for him. And, these next 3 weeks are huge for him and for our team. But when you see somebody invest as much time and energy and effort into something over a 4-year period, you want to see him finish strong, and you want to see him go out with some success. So I hope his individual play over the last 11 games, I hope that continues, and we can turn that into some victories so he can go out on a positive note.
Bryce Jones has done some good things this year, but against Austin Peay, probably not one of his better games.
Sure.
7 turnovers, especially the 2 late in the game. How
Sure.
has he kind of handled that disappointment from Saturday, or how much interaction you've had with him since then?
Sure. Well, we believe in Bryce. He's a talented point guard. We depend on him a lot. He's playing a lot of minutes. He's got to carry the load at that position for us. And you look our last 2 losses, he has 13 turnovers in those 2 losses. That can't happen. He's a better player than that. Decisions have to be better. You look back earlier in the year, there was a time where he was 44 to 16 assist to turnover at one point. and so he's shown he's more than capable of doing that. I think the big thing for Bryce is just, we just got to move forward. That's what mentally tough players do. You're going to make mistakes. It happens. It's part of it. I believe in him, and excited to get him back out on the practice floor today and getting ready for Thursday night's game.
In 3 of your last 6 games, you've held your opponent under 30% from three-point range. The defense has played really well. You had a little difficulty defending the 3 against those other 3 teams.
Yeah.
Was that attributable to something they did, or was it something you all were doing?
Well, I don't think we've defended the 3 as well from a standpoint of giving up too many unchallenged threes. I think when we had that stretch where we really I thought we had turned the corner as far as defending the three-point arc. I thought we were forcing teams to take tough, contested, and challenged threes versus catch-and-shoot rhythm threes. And I think that was a big difference for the difference in the percentages that they shot. I think, as you've seen, we've played a little bit more zone, and we've had to double team in the post a little more, trying to protect Wayne. I think the negative result of that is it does lead to some more open threes. And so we really have to evaluate what the best way going forward, the combination of post defense and then perimeter defense, what's going to work best for us as we go down the stretch.
Speaking of Wayne, he looked like he couldn't see at the end of the game. What is his status in terms of that eye?
He's going to be fine, Neil. He got poked in the eye, and he popped a blood vessel in his eye and had some blood build up, but he's going to be okay. It limited him the last 3 minutes of the game, and that really hurt us. But shouldn't miss any practice time. Should be good to go.
I know you're really you said you're focusing on this next game on Thursday night against SIUE, but you have 5 games left in the regular season. You're 1 game back at EIU, trying to get that important, one or two
Sure.
seed. Are you at a point where you have to win every you need to win out?
Yeah, as I said, Adam, we are just going one at a time. But if I have to sit back here from a big picture standpoint and say, to me, to win the OVC West, I would think you would have to win them all. I mean, just looking at the way Eastern Illinois and UT Martin are playing, I would think that would be the position we're in.
Coach, you've probably reviewed a lot of tape, just some of these losses. The 73-71 loss to Tennessee State, this one to Austin Peay. Are you seeing particular trends from your team within the last 3 to 4 minutes in these really close games?
Nah, the majority of our games have come down to 4-minute games for the most part. The disappointing thing about Saturday, this was the 7th time we've had the ball in a 1-possession game where we led with less than a minute to go this season. We were 6-0 in the other 6, and Saturday was the first time we didn't execute against a full court press with the game on the line. And obviously you have to do that. And so that was the disappointing thing on Saturday.
If you look at your Thursday, Saturday games, you've kind of struggled on Saturdays over the last month or so.
Yeah.
Do you think that's due to your short bench? Is it fatigue?
I don't know. I mean, maybe it's part of it. I'm not a big believer in all that. I think you're 20 years old. You're a great athlete. You've played your whole life. You can play 35 minutes on Thursday and 35 on Saturday. So we just have to execute better. It's a quicker turnaround from a preparation standpoint. So you got to absorb a lot more information in a short period of time. So I'm sure we got to do a better job of that as well. But the depth, it is what it is. I mean, it's not changing. We just have to finish stronger on these Saturday evening games.
To kind of go off the last 2 questions, your 5 losses in conference have come by combined 23 points. And with the extended minutes everyone's playing, with the injuries, is that a bright spot you can tell your guys going into these last couple weeks? You've been in every single game.
I don't know. I mean, I think the guys, they know we've been in a lot of games. We've been in a lot of possession-by-possession games. That's like the EKU UT Martin week. At EKU, we're down 4 with 2.5 to go, and we finished the game 11-3 and win the game. We made the shots that counted. And turn around Saturday at UT Martin, we're down 3 with 2 minutes to go, and we missed 3 open threes down the stretch with a chance to tie. You know, so it's just we're in a lot of these games that are coming down to the wire. Oftentimes, it comes down to the team that either, as simple as it is, can get that stop when they need it, or can execute offensively and knock down open shots to win it. You know, Saturday we didn't execute. You know, we didn't execute. Made a couple poor decisions, and that's what happens.
The 2 games this week against SIUE and Southeast Missouri. Obviously, those are really important games. What do you think you have to do to come away with a couple of victories?
Well, I think at SIUE, you look back to our first game, we really defended them well at our place. Jeffrey Moss did an incredible job guarding Eslick, their really good shooting guard. You have to address their size up front and control the boards, because Yemi, I can't pronounce his last name, but he's a force up front, about 6'10", 270, and then they bring Fiorentinos off the bench, similar size. So you have to really control the glass against them. From an offensive standpoint, you know, Wayne was really effective against them. We had good balance. We shot the ball well. Shot selection was good. So I think as we go up there to play SIUE, I think, again, you got to focus on defending that three-point arc, and then the backboards being on that glass. As you look at SEMO, I think in stretches we played as well as we've played all year. We have to prepare again for the 1-3-1 zone. It was feast or famine for us against it. We had a lot of possessions that led to open threes for Jeffrey Moss against their 1-3-1. We had several possessions where we turned it over and were a little careless with the basketball. But I think you always have to account for Antonius Cleveland when you're playing SEMO. He's an outstanding player. And then they have good size up front as well with Kellum and Angus, who can score the ball. And McGill, the freshman guard, was outstanding against us. Was 6 of 6 from 3. So those are some of the guys we'll have to account for Saturday night.
Is it a good thing that you just played SEMO just a couple of games ago, that now you get them again? Is that good for your team?
Well, quick turnaround. Though I'm sure they'll make some adjustments. Because Jeffrey Moss was incredible over there. So we'll have to be prepared for that. Now this week starts round 2 of all our division games. And so, it'll be interesting to see what adjustments each team make moving forward with the second round of games.
Illinois hasn't been kind to the Racers, even in the past, even last year. Very tough games.
Yeah.
How do you tell your team, Edwardsville's not going to be a friendly place?
Yeah, I've never really bought into all that type stuff. I mean, you play where you play. If you can play, it doesn't matter where you're at. You go out and you deliver. And so we'll prepare just like we would for any other game. Want our guys coming out with high energy, excited to play. Great opportunity for us to bounce back and get back in the win column, against Edwardsville on Thursday.